Hello everyone, welcome to my new video on stock market where I will be discussing about SIP versus lump sum investment in ELSS fund. So whether you should be following the SIP or lump sum mode for investing in ELSS funds. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you like my content. It will encourage me to put more effort and more and make more videos on finance and stock market. So first, let's understand what ELSS funds are. So ELSS stands for Equity Linked Savings Scheme. That means it's a saving scheme that invests in equity. Equity is actually stock market. That means these are type of mutual funds that invest in stock market. But there are a lot other types of mutual funds also. So how does ELSS fund differ from other mutual funds? So ELSS funds actually are a tax saving fund. So you can take tax benefit using this fund. So if you invest in this year's fund, you can take tax benefit up to rupees 1.5 lakhs from your annual taxable income under 80C of income tax. So there is a section 80C under which there are a lot of other investments also. One of them is ELSS. So if you see there are EPF, PPF, then ELSS, then tax saving FT, these all are there. So together by combining these all investment, you can take tax benefit on total taxable salary of 1.5 lakhs. But in most of the cases, you will be also getting, employer provident, contribution will also be done by your employer. So that will also be included in this section 80C. So let's say the employer contribution is, let's say 50,000 for provident fund. Then you are left with 1 lakh. So this 1 lakh you can invest in other investment like PPF, ELSS, tax saving FD. Now, the other difference between these all EPF, PPF, and tax saving FD, ELSS is that in ELSS, since you invest in equity market, the risk is higher. All the other investments gives you a fixed return, let's say 6 or 7%, let's say. But in ELSS, the returns are not fixed. It can be minus 20%, minus 15%, plus 20%, plus 15%, anything. It depends on the stock market actually. And other difference is that there is 3-year lock-in period for ELSS funds. For other, if you see for EPF, normally the lock-in period is 15 years. PPF also 15 years. For tax saving FT, it's 5-year and 10-year. For both there are tax saving funds. But in EPF and PPF, you do have other way of, taking your investments back by maybe if you are in some emergency situation like buying a house or maybe for marriage purpose or for let's say for hospital bill purpose. So in these cases you can basically take down money from PPF and EPF, these things. Now let's see the difference between SIP versus lump sum investment in these ELSS funds. So there is a slight difference actually, because in other mutual funds you do not have a lock-in period of 3 years. Only is this ELSS funds you have this lock-in for 3 years. So that slightly makes a difference. The difference here is that if you follow the SIP approach, what will happen? Let's say if you started SIP from the first month, April 2020 of financial year, then since you have a lock-in period of 3 years, you will be only able to sell this SIP that you have invested in April 2023 because 3 years. Now you continue the SIP in May. Again, this May SIP you will be able to sell it May 2023. Then you keep on doing and you reach the last one of the financial year, that is March 2021. Now this March 2021 SIP you will be able to sell only in March 2024. So if you see here, you started SIP in April 2020, but you will be only selling all the SIP you have done in the whole year after 4 years, because the last SIP you can sell in March 2024, but you started the SIP in April 2020. So it's almost 4 years before you can sell all your SIP of that year. But see the difference if you do the lump sum. If you do the lump sum, if you have invested, I forgot to, if you do not know the difference between SIP and lump sum, SIP is like, let's say if you have 1 lakh, you are dividing that into 10 chunks of 10,000, and each month you are investing 10,000 in this ELSS fund. Lump sum is like you take the 1 lakh in 1 month and you invest the whole amount at one go. That's lump sum. Now taking a lump sum here. So if you have done the lump sum April 2020, then you will be able to redeem this in April 2023. That is exactly 3 years. It's not 4 years. Here it is exactly 3 years. But if you have broken down into 2 chunks of 50,000, Still, if you do the next investment of 50,000 in May 2020, still you'll be able to take out exactly after 3 years, that is May 2023. So here you are able to redeem your SIP just after 3 years. But in the SIP case, it if you see it for the whole year, it becomes 4 years. That's only the difference. Now, which one is better? So I will take example of Peter Lynch. I mean, I've read this in his book, so I will take his example here. So what does Peter Lynch tells about for how much time one should invest in equity market? So about Peter Lynch was a very famous fund manager at Fidelity Investment, and during the time he was managing one of the funds, the CAGR returns for that fund was around close to 30% for around 20 plus years. That's quite great, I mean. So he tells in his book Learn to Earn that there is simply no telling what stock prices will do from 1 year to next. When the stock market has one of its correction and stock lose money, the people who have get their money out may be going home with a lot less than they put in. He simply says that, I mean, what normally happens if there is a huge correction, then if some people are selling this SIP or whatever investment they have done, they may be selling at a loss. He tells that 20 years or longer is the right time frame to judge any investment in equity. That's long enough for stocks to rebound from the nastiest corrections on record. So 20 years, he says, whatever nastiest correction that has happened till date, 20 years should be long enough to recover from that. And also it should be long enough for the profits to pile up. So to take the advantage of compounding effect, that 20 years should be long enough that so that your profit has increased a lot. Now he says that 11% a year in total return is what stocks have produced in the past. That's the average returns in the long term, that is 20 years, 15 years. That's the average returns that we have got from the stock market. And you should not expect more than that. 11-12% is that what you should expect from the equity market. Nobody can predict the future. So since stock market depends on the economy, and predicting economy, I mean, it's quite tough. So that's why he tells that nobody can predict the future of stock markets. But at least after 20 years, at 11% CAGR, an investment of $10,000 is magically transformed to $80,000. Just in 20 years, at a CAGR of 11%, you are, I mean, multiply your money by 8 times. That's huge, right? So that's why the power of compounding and being in the equity market for long term, that's the benefit of that. That's what Peter Lynch tells about. Then he also says that it's not always brain power that separates good investor from bad. It's not brain power. Maybe he is more intelligent than you. That can happen, but that does not separate you from him. What separates is the discipline. If you're following the discipline and he or she is not following the discipline, then it may happen that you even if he is more intelligent than you, but you will beat him in the returns in the long term. So equity investments should be done for long term. That's what Peter Lynch also told. My also view is that you should do for long term, at least 10 plus years. In my view, it's at least 10 plus years. Peter Lynch does tell about 20 plus years. And one advantage with ELSS fund is that you already have a lock-in period of 3 years. In no other mutual funds, you have lock-in period of 3 years. I mean, equity mutual funds, you do not have any lock-in period of 3 years. Even in debt funds, you do not have. You can sell it anytime. In ELSS fund, you cannot sell it before 3 years. That's the discipline here, right? Because you in other case, what will happen? You will buy some mutual fund. You will see the prices increase. You have got from 10% profit and you will sell it. That's not discipline. Again, you will buy some other mutual fund and you will keep on doing this. Now let's take a look at lump sum and SIP, and let's look at the advantage disadvantage of both. So in lump sum, the advantage is that you get great returns. So lump sum, I told you, you are putting all your money at one point of time. Now, you will get great returns if you can invest at the bottom. Bottom means the stock market has corrected a lot, and if you invest at that time. But there will be bad returns if you invest at the peak of stock market. Peak means it has reached the peak and now the stock market is correcting and you have invested at the peak. So in the graph, if you see here, I will take example 2008 peak and recession. So in 2008, if you see, the market has been increasing continuously and 2008 a peak was formed here. So if you have invested at this point of time, all your money, let's say 1 lakh or 2 lakhs at one go at this point, then today your returns will be, I will say, less. I mean, 4, 5%, 6%, 7%. But if you have done just this, if you have continued the SIP at that time, your returns have been better than this. But another example is that now the correction happened And in 2009 or 10, during 2009-10, a bottom was formed here. Now, if you invest, do your lump sum during this when bottom was formed, your profits will be a lot higher than the SIP returns for sure. Because after this bottom, you see the rally from bottom to here, right? It's a lot more than the rally from peak to here, right? That's why. But the risk is higher because you have to identify these bottom and peaks. If you cannot identify, then you are basically, maybe by mistake you can invest at peak and the returns for you may be less. By luck, maybe you can invest at bottom also and you may have higher returns. But the risk is involved here. So unless you are tracking the stock market very closely, but even if you are tracking the stock market closely, from my opinion, it's very tough to find the bottom and peak of the stock market, and nobody knows till, I mean, what time the corrections will keep on happening. Nobody knows. So it's quite tough in stock market also. And also there is no discipline in investment here, because 1 lakh investment you have to do at one time. So normally I've seen people who do the investment during the March month or Feb month, just before the financial year is ending, or Jan month, let's say. And they have to get this 1 lakh at one go. So there is no discipline here. Sometimes it may happen, they may not have this money. It may happen, and they will maybe think that, okay, I will not do the investment this year. That can also happen in some cases. So it's better to, from a salary, just, okay, take 10,000 or 5,000 per month and keep on investing. Okay, let's move to SIP, where I'll discuss about this. So SIP advantage, disadvantage is that, of course, discipline is there because you are investing per month some money. So whenever you are crediting your salary on, let's 31st of every month or 30th of every month, what you do is you invest 10,000 rupees in one. You do some SIP in some ELSS fund. That is discipline here. It also mitigates risk with the rupee cost averaging. So here you're averaging here when you're investing money per month. So you will be investing even when the markets are going higher. You will be investing in some months when the market is going down. Again, some months when the market is going higher. So basically, you are averaging your investment. That's why a slight disadvantage is also there, that your returns will also be average because you are doing rupee cost averaging in your investment. That's why your average returns will also be average. But this average return does not, okay, I will compare this with a lump sum investment at the last. These average returns also are quite good actually, if you see, without taking much risk and following a very good discipline, your returns will be quite good. I will show you the examples at last. Here returns may be a bit less than lump sum, because in lump sum it depends on the actual a point of time where you have done investment. If you are done at peak, SIP would maybe have better returns. If you are not invested at peak, maybe that lump sum has given more returns. It can happen, but risk is of course less here. So my opinion is again that same what Peter Lynch says: do long-term investment. Quite good that SIP has 3+ year lock-in. That's quite good, but try to follow it at least till 10 years. And a disciplined investment in form of SIP from your month salary, like fix it. I mean, it depends on a salary. You can fix 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. It depends on your salary, and keep investing that money every month. Equity market is very volatile in short term. So if you see the last 3 years market, so I consider 3 years market of short term for equity. I consider 10+ year as the long term in equity. 3 years, 4 years, 2 years is short term for me. And in this time, the market is very volatile. You see the last 3 years for India, demonetization was there. Then there were tax on equity. So all these, and there are many other, if you see, and there has been corrections of 10-15% regularly in last 3 years. Now there is coronavirus, and there is 20+ percent correction now. So it's a lot volatile in the short term. So if you want to invest for, let's say, 5 years, let's say if you want to invest for 5 years and you need that money for some emergency purposes later on, for some marriage, for your child education or anything, I will say, in my opinion, it's better to park that money in tax saving FDs if you want to maybe use the ATC of this, because that is better. And in PPF also, I think you can take out 50% of your money after 5 years. So that's also good. So you can invest in this type of investment rather than equity, where the risk is less, and you can even lose the capital after 5 years. But if you are willing to take risk, if you do not have an emergency, then it's okay. You can invest for 3 or 4 years. Then you can see that, okay, in 3 years, if your returns are good, you can take out the money. But if it is not good, you can keep on, let it go. You can continue for long term. But my usual is that, okay, so continue for long term, because if you see the power of compounding, 11% for 20 years, you get 8x returns. So it's better to nobody gives you 11% return. Only stock market can give you. Go for any FD or anything, it will not give 11% return. I mean, stock market is not fixed, but average returns have been around 11%. And in bull market, one can get good return in 3 years also. In bull markets, when the stock market economy is booming, in 3 years also you will get very good returns. But normally the cycles, there is economic cycles. Bull market, again there will be burst, again it keeps on happening. So last 3 years, the returns have been not quite good. I will show that at the last. And I also increase SIP by same amount during 50. So this is my view. If you closely monitor the stock markets, if you monitor it, for only the people who are monitoring it. So if there is 50-20% correction, you may increase the SIP amount from 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 per month. But do not increase it by too much, to let's say 1 lakh at one go, because corrections you do not know till what time corrections will happening. In 2008 recession, the correction was around 60%. So it's better to just increase the amount by 5,000 or 10,000. Now about timing the market, again, Peter Lynch says that during a prosperous 5-year stage in 1980s, stock price gained 26% a year. Now disciplined investor, that is SIP investors who are in the market all the time, who stuck to the plan, double their money and then some. That means they almost double the money. But most of this gain, the 26% CAGR gain, happened only on the 40 days of the 1276 days on which the stock markets was open for trading. So most of the gains only happen in 40 days. Now he tells that if you're out of stocks on those 40 key days on which most of the gain happened, attempting to avoid the next correction, that is your timing the market. You are trying to waiting for the correction of stock market. Your 26% return annual gain will be reduced to just 4%, less than FD returns. See this, I mean, this is what he tells about the people who try to time the market. Next one is Axis long-term equity fund. So I will show you the returns of SIP and lump sum. If you have done, so I will show you 2 examples of 2 of the ELSS fund that I have invested in, and their returns in 3 years and 10 years. So this, if you see for this Axis long-term, the first table is for lump sum investment. The second is SIP returns. So if you see here, if you have done if you see a 3-year return, it's if you've done the lump sum on 19 May 17, your returns will be CAGR will be 3.77%. That's better than the FD itself. But if you see on the 10-year chart, on 10-year it's 14.6%. That's quite better than all the other investments. 14.6% CAGR for 10 years. That's quite great. And even if you see the SIP returns, again in 3 years, I see it's bad, negative return. If you see the 10 years again here, it's 12.19% CAGR. It's not quite bad. Okay, in lump sum, I think you got 14%. Here you are getting 12%. But without, you're following a discipline and without taking much risk, without taking tension of bottom, peak, everything, you have managed to do 12%. And that's quite good in stock market, I will say. Similarly for Aditya Birla, if you see, again, 3 year, if you see, it's quite negative returns. Again, if you go to 10 years, I see 10-year returns if the mutual fund has been for that much time. If you see the 10-year returns, again, if you see it's 9.3%, is better than other returns, but of course not better than the other fund I was discussing about. And SIP, if you see for 10 years, is 8.85%. Not much difference between lump sum and SIP again here. And by following a disciplined approach. And of course, in 3 year, 5 year, I told you, because of this coronavirus and other demonetization, there were many other issues. The returns has not been good in last 3-4 years. I also have started in last 3 years. Even my returns are not quite good in this time. But over long period, I expect to make at least 11-12% if I follow discipline and be invested during all the times. So that's all from my side. And if you have any questions, do put it in the comments. I will surely reply on that. Thank you.